Story 9, a sad farewell. A sad farewell. You can find this in Numbers chapter 20. The news that he couldn't enter Canaan was hard for Moses to take. He was terribly disappointed. Who wouldn't have been? But give up? Never. He had known God too well to doubt his goodness and love. As long as he had life and health, he would serve God faithfully and lead Israel toward the promised land. Forgetting himself, Moses began to plan the next step of the journey. He had made up his mind that the easiest way to get to Canaan was through the land of Edom. He sent messengers to the king of that country, asking permission for Israel to pass through. It was a very kind and friendly message, because the Edomites were also descendants of Abraham through Esau. After telling the king about some of the hard times Israel had suffered, Moses wrote, "Please let us pass through your country. We will not go through any field or vineyard, or drink water from any well. We will travel along the king's highway and not turn to the right or to the left until we have passed through your territory." But the king of Edom said, "No, you may not pass through here," he replied. "If you try, we will march out and attack you with the sword." It was a cruel, selfish answer, but Moses refused to get angry about it. Instead, he sent another gracious note assuring the king that Israel would keep to the mountain roads and pay for any water, even from the streams, that they might drink on their way through. But still the king of Edom refused, and Israel had to find another way to get to Canaan. Moving on east and south to get around Edom, they came to Mount Hor. A very sad thing happened here. As the people pitched camp, God told Moses that Aaron was going to die. He wanted both of them to climb to the top of the mountain and take Eleazar, Aaron's son, with them. It must have been a sorrowful little procession that made its way slowly, so very slowly, up the mountainside. Aaron was 123 years old, and Moses was just 3 years younger. They had been friends such a long, long time, and they had stood together through all sorts of troubles. Now they were to be separated. I suppose they stopped many times on the way, just so they could talk a little longer and make the final walk together last as long as possible. But little by little, step by weary step, they came near the top. Looking down, they saw the camp of Israel spread out on the plain below. Perhaps they told each other how much those poor dear people meant to them, and how they had tried so hard to help them. A few more steps brought them to the top of the mountain. Then something very touching took place. One by one, Moses removed Aaron's high priestly garments, placing each one on Eleazar as tears flowed down all their cheeks. It was time to say goodbye to each other. "Goodbye, son. God bless you." "Goodbye, father." Then the two brothers looked into each other's eyes. The last time, "Farewell," they said, and Aaron breathed his brother's arms around him. In the camp far below, the people began to get worried. Why were Moses, Aaron, and Eleazar staying on the mountain so long? Then looking up, they saw two figures coming down the winding path. Aaron was not with them, and his son Eleazar was wearing his high priest robes. Quickly they guessed what had happened, and the sad message swept through the camp: Aaron is dead. Though some had not liked him and some had quarreled with him, now they felt sorry he was gone, and the entire house of Israel mourned for him 30 days. Beautiful stories. These are really beautiful stories. These are a treasure. Thank you, boys and girls. I hope you understand these stories. If you don't, please ask any adult or big brother or big sister to explain what's happening in these stories to you. I'll see you again next week as we continue with part 2. And now I think they will be going into Canaan, the children of Israel. So we will follow their journey and see what happens next when they enter Canaan. God bless you all, and see you again next week. Bye.